Hello my darling, this is New Supernatural Rant, and the episodes that we're going to focus on today, which sounds so serious and shouldn't, are episode 13, 14, 15 and 16. Episode 17, I'm reading here, and for here I mean the link that I'll put in the doobly-doo in case you're interested. It's going to be titled My Heart Will Go On and apparently be Titanic related, which sounds pretty interesting to me. Episode 13, Unforgiven, is here rated 9.1, which accounts for superb, and I'm not sure I completely agree with that, mainly because it's about Dean and Sam going to a town that apparently Sam visited during his solace year, and he's washed over with flashbacks. Point 1. It was 2 episodes ago that we stressed the point of Sam needing not to scratch at that wall, and here we are going all over again that same route. And I really don't see the need to do that. Besides, the main storyline doesn't progress in any way, and we get the grandfather. Now, I seriously dislike Samuel Sr., and I may have figured out why. I think my main problem with the character, I like Mitch Pileggi. I really enjoyed his character in The X-Files, but as far as Supernatural goes, I don't like the stories that see him involved, I don't like their character at all. And again, I think the point is this, especially when it comes out why he's actually selling his grandchildren to Crowley. Supposedly here we're dealing with a very seasoned hunter who's been living the life for his whole existence. And now you're trying to tell me that he falls for the trick of someone who, okay, granted, he is king of the crossroads and king of hell for a very brief moment, but he should know better. Sorry, there's a fly in the room. Than to fall for the tricks of a demon who's definitely going to try and screw him up. Blinded by the idea that he could bring back to life his daughter dead of 30 years or probably more. I don't think it makes much sense. So, anyway, episode 13, didn't particularly enjoy it. Felt sort of like a filler, much like the episode 14, which is Mannequin. I like the case. It's not extremely original, but once again, originality is not what I ask of Supernatural. That's not the point for me. So I did like the case. I like the fact that Lisa is involved, so that, again, the main storyline is involved into this episode, but seriously disliked the fact that Ben tries to set Dean and Lisa up, because that felt so pathetically American romantic teenage comedy drama, and I didn't really like it. Next, we get to talk about The French Mistake, which is episode 15, and I think it's the one of this series that got the most people talking, because it's about Balthazar being his usual cheery self and sending the boys to an alternate universe. First thing I have to say, this alternate universe, which soon proves to be ours, looks rather dull, because the point is that they're not Sam and Dean any longer. There are 2 actors named Jared and Jensen, and Jared is married to the actress who played Ruby, and the Winchester brothers obviously recognize her as Ruby still, so that's funny. And there's Misha Collins, who's his usual charming self, tweeting all the time. And by the by, if you don't follow Misha already, please do, because he's so funny, he's hilarious. Also, the one point that's truly funny and hilarious of episode 15, that and the fact that Kripke probably had the time of his life having fun with gallons of fake blood. I also liked the small pun about Sarah Gamble. Again, I don't dislike Sarah Gamble as a person. Obviously, I have no idea what she's like. But the point that they're trying to include realistic discussions into this episode, especially knowing that the series producers are very keen on listening, reading and hearing what their audience have to say, I found that extremely clever. But again, there's lots of buts into this video. Anyway, the problem I have with this is that it's sort of shattered an illusion of mine. And let me digress for a second, and it might seem like I'm missing my point, but if you trust me, and probably you shouldn't, but in this case, just take a risk and follow my train of thought, if you will. Now, do you know, when you talk to people about Harry Potter, I've found that the main issue is that once you close the book, you find yourself sighing your days away and thinking, oh, too bad that insert random element of Harry Potter's saga here doesn't exist. Like, too bad that Quidditch doesn't exist, too bad I can't go around waving my wand and just saying Loomis and get light out of it, which sounds exactly like an iPhone app, but it would look so much cooler with a wand. Anyway, with movies and series that I love, I like to sometimes fantasize and be scared by that, because I love being scared sometimes, lulling myself to sleep thinking how much of that could actually be true. With this episode, they proved that if actually somewhere there are these silent hunters that are so brave and they couldn't care less about private glory and try to save humankind from the foulest creatures on earth, then it's not my universe. And as far as I'm concerned, especially seeing where Fringe is going, I've had enough of alternate universe stealing what's good from my universe. I don't know if I've made myself clear. Anyway, once again, it was a funny episode. Here is rated 9.2, which I count for superb again. It's funny, but obviously, as usual, it's nothing like changing channels. And then we get to episode 16, and then there were none. And we get the big guys in, and as big guys, I mean Bobby, Rufus, and Samuel Sr. Yes, the grandfather again. It's a case of a locked room, once again. We've had so many before, and frankly, we could live without this one. There's the mother of all, again. I obviously have no idea where this thing is leading, and I sort of like the fact that there are two entities, a male entity and a female entity, that come clashing together. I found that interesting, in a way. But we've dealt with the apocalypse, okay? Now this, the mother of all problem, now feels like a piece of cake to me. I mean, we've stopped the world that was already on the brink of destruction by angels involved in a civil war and Lucifer and all the demons of hell. I mean, this is not a true problem. It's gonna be a walk in the park. I don't know why they're so worried. We've been through much, much worse before. And as far as those who fell go, I wasn't expecting that, but I actually grieved the fact that we lose Rufus. Now, I know that with Supernatural especially, these things can not be written in stone, but I'm afraid in this case it might be. And I seriously hope they do get set in stone as far as Samuel is concerned, because finally we got rid of the grandfather. And I keep wondering, I mean, there was so much fuss about this is the last family we've got and this is the only blood connection that we have aside from each other. So, okay, Dean had already completely disrupted that blooming relationship when he said, you know, next time I see you, I'm gonna kill you, quite reasonably. Sam doesn't remember, but Dean does know that they have spent together Sam and the grandfather, that they have spent together the whole Solist year. So I don't know, maybe a little thought about that. We get rid of Granddad so easily, slightly too easy, maybe. I've recently exchanged a few emails with another Supernatural fan, and he mentioned that in the name of that over-conquering brotherly love, he's willing to forgive Supernatural of any teeny tiny mistake, of some plot that maybe doesn't really tie in together with the rest. And I have to agree with him to the core. This is how I feel as well. But actually these videos come up because I want to challenge my own opinions and eventually come up with new ones. And maybe you can come up with new opinions. So this is the point of it all, really, of discussing them. All in all, as usual, I adore Supernatural, and I'm talking about its core, which is what I was mentioning before. I mean, the fact that the boys are so connected and sort of relationship that they share, I love it. And I normally love all the other characters, but again, I have to say, I feel like the quality has plumbed. It got lowered at the beginning of this series, and to me, it's not rising up again. in a forgive and forget way, I feel the need to mention that my brother and I are going to attend the second Supernatural convention in Rome this year, second in a row. It's on the 8th, 9th and 10th of April, and I seriously can't wait because obviously Misha's going to be there again and I'm going to fall for him all over again. I already know that. Eric Kripke was supposed to be there, but unfortunately can't make it. But Baltazar is going to attend, and I was wondering if I could actually pop him a question about Fringe. Would that be inappropriate? A few other things that I need to mention. You'll find links in the doobly-doo to things you might find interesting. One is the Facebook page of Prismatic 310. And if you want me to, you can send me pictures of your favorite books and movies and maybe comments and rates so that I can see what might be of interest for me to review in the next future. And also you'll find the links to Gin and Teacups, which is the musical adventure that sees Ginger and I try to take over the world. So if you're interested, and especially if you're a Vales fan, I suggest you go and take a look at it now. Anyway, as usual, I hope this wasn't much of a bore, that it proved somehow to be interesting. I hope you'll take a few minutes to let me in on your thoughts on Supernatural, life, the world, the universe and everything else. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye!